It's such a great story. I've worked with Trust for Public Land as well, and Will Rogers and a whole group that was so impressive just to
Yeah.
underscore what you've said, that it's very much land and people, it's inner city parks in our urban centers and so on. And as Ken Burns said in his series, this is one of our greatest creations, right? Parks.
And right now, Mary Evelyn, we're going a step further in many ways. But again, when I was chair, and by the way, I was chair when we hired Will as president, so I was real proud of that. Still am.
Yeah.
But anyway, the um, but sometime while I was that 8-year period, the head of our New York office came in to San Francisco at the board meeting, and she said, "Got a problem? Got to get involved and make this work." And I said, "Well, what's that?" And she said, "There are 300 schools in Manhattan that don't have playgrounds."
Mm.
And I went, "What?" I mean, because I was, as you might imagine, I was 12 years old before I figured out that there's reasons to go to school other than to go out on the playground and recreate. So I lived for that hour. It was great. I couldn't imagine being it. So anyway, we have worked on that. Many people very wisely, and and I've had tangential involvement, but I'm proud of what they're doing, and I'm a cheerleader for it. And I've been very involved in Atlanta because now we finally earned the right and the respect that we now go in and work with over the last 5 years, 6 years have evolved where we go in and work with school systems, and basically we say, hey, um, if you let us use your open space and your playground um, during non-school hours for your community, then what we'll do is come in and help you and your students and your teachers and your principals plan what they want in their playground. And we will then, if we get to where we need to be, we will go raise the money to build the playground, and we will build it for you. And so at the end of the day, the kids get a much better playground that reflects their interest because again, they plan it, but when they're planning it, we um, at the end of given all the options, and it's a multi-day process. But anyway, each child, whether you're in elementary school, junior high, or senior high, is given $500 of play money, and you have to negotiate with your classmates about what you all are as a group going to achieve. So there's a lot of pedagogy in the system that's built up. But anyway, this thing is just taken off, and part of the motivation for it is that we believe at TPL that everybody should be within a 10-minute walk of a park. That's health requires that, community requires that. Just being outside in nature requires that. If you're stressed, it's been now shown by biomarkers in your mouth that if you go into a park or open space in 15 minutes, your stress level goes down 15%. So can you afford not to go do that today? And the answer to that is probably not. Okay. But if you don't have space to go do it, then how do you do it? You have to not do it. So anyway, we're trying to change that. And we now have got our GIS is so good that we now put out a ranking every year of the cities with the highest percentage of their citizens living within a 10-minute walk of a park. And cities don't question the GIS information at all because it's so reliable. But they're also now competing to be at the top because those places with the most parks that are the most accessible are the cities that become most successful because that's where people want to live.
Absolutely. So let's take all of this remarkable experience with national organizations, local dedication, etc., um, over to our divinity school here. So you became a member of the Dean's Council and then chaired it for many years. I think it was from 96, and for 14 years you were on that council, and then you were emeritus chair the first time in YDS's history. So you've devoted yourself to, let's say, first the renovation of the buildings at YDS, and then you planted the seeds for and helped drive the action towards this living village. So you've been very instrumental for YDS in its renovation. And I have to just say, you encouraged us when we first came, Chris, and we're so grateful to you and your wife, Julie, and your wonderful daughter, Frances, who is here at Yale, that you got why religion.
And Glenn was also there at Yale, our son.
Definitely. Yeah.